Good evening to all of you. We are starting shortly. We're waiting for a few more people to join. Meanwhile, before starting, I'll just have few instructions for all of you. So we request all of you to stay on mute, and at the end of the session, you can ask your questions. So when the speaker started talking about the topic, you may drop in your questions in Q&A, and at the end, we will be taking all of the Q&A without disturbing the sessions in between, so that we can take Q&A properly once the speaker finishes all the content, whatever she is having. So this is one thing for the session, and even at the end, you will always get you will always get to ask questions as well. So after Q&A, even if you want to ask some question or like by coming to mic, so you can raise your hand and we will unmute you one by one and you can ask your questions as well in meanwhile. So that's a quite set of instruction before we start the call. So I think now we can start the session. We have more than 100 people, and meanwhile let other people join. So Sang, can we go to first slide? Yes, thank you. Hey, hi everyone. Myself Abhishek. I'm the co-founder of Oscode, and I welcome all of you to this amazing webinar today. So before jumping what gonna discuss today, I will just take you all through what is CommunityX, what is Oscode, what we are trying to build. So CommunityX is an ecosystem under which we have three communities, OS Code, OS Vault, and OS Ingiverse. In OS Code, we cover stuff that's related to CS and allied branches, where events we conduct that are more of CS and IT oriented branches. Under OS World Community, we conduct event for the students who belongs to electronics, electrical, and electrical related branches. And OS Engineers, we conduct events related to civil engineering, mechanical, architecture, and all. So under this ecosystem of Community X, we have this three community, and we are trying to help engineering students irrespective of the domains or branch wherever they are studying. Coming to numbers, we have more than 50,000 plus students being part of our community who are getting impacted through our events. We have more than 50 plus chapters across pan India. When I say 50 plus chapters, we do have a dedicated setup of our colleges where we conduct events, we execute events, and we have conducted more than 350 plus events in terms of seminars, webinars, workshops, hackathons. And we do have more than 200 plus mentors associated with us who are part of top product based companies. And already we discussed about those three unique community through which we are trying to create this impact and trying to help the students. So yeah, we can go to next slide, Sran. So here, as this session is gonna get conducted through OS Code, and we'll try covering a bit about OS Code because the other two communities, OS Volt and OS Ingiverse, we started recently. OS Code is something on which we were working from last 3 to 4 years, and as I mentioned, it's mainly for CS and IT allied branches where people get guidance, they get part of our event, getting engaged with several activities what we do at OS Code. We conduct a lot of hackathons, programs, open source sprints, AI boot camps as well. And we try creating opportunity through our events. So hackathons, whatever we conduct, we always try pulling in that factor of hiring hackathons as well. And these are not something which you can see over the screen. We are limited to those sort of sessions. We have already a lot of other initiatives apart from what we have mentioned there. And we always try conducting event that is something that's required by student or something like that. This is all sort about OS Code. Frank, can we go to next slide? Yes. So while we were building OS Code, there was one thing which we always get to know from a lot of students, because even if you take example of this webinar itself, a very few people or a very limited question you can ask, keeping time constraint in mind. And the second thing is there'll be many people who could have their personalized doubt, which you can't like, ask in a public seminar webinar, because it could be something related to your portfolio or your profile. And that was one thing which always we get that feedback inside our community when we started conducting offline events. And there many students ask, can we have that platform? And then we made our Your Buddy, that is one is to one mentorship platform where students like you can connect with lot of industry expert of who are associated with us, and you can always connect with them one-on-one for your career guidance. And there are sort of services we provide. There are long-term service sessions. There are short-term. So if you, let's say, suppose you want to just connect for one session to discuss with a mentor, can you review my resume? And if they can give feedback to your resume, these are something you can do as part of short-term mentorship session. But there is always a new feature we introduced few times back, and that was more of a long-term mentorship session. You want a mentor who can connect with you on a regular basis and guide you throughout your journey. Those sort of services also you can go and explore. You can simply search yourbuddy.in or Google it Your Buddy, and you can explore our platform and get to know much more details about that. And that platform is mainly meant, as I mentioned, for personalized guidance. And there you get a lot of mentors. More than 200 people are being part of Your Buddy community, and those all have been their own journey, how they cracked their companies, what are the roadmap they followed. And we have more than 30K plus mentoring minutes if we combine all sort of meetings which happened at Your Buddy. And we are trying to cover more than 15 plus niche or domain you see. And when I say 70 plus organizations, we have peoples or mentors associated from across top product or service-based company who are there to guide you at those steps. I think that was all sort about Your Buddy platform. And these are some success story of the people who get being part of our community, and they get mentorship from our mentors who could be like either through our events or through our Your Buddy mentorship platform. So there's were some people who indifferent, it's not just a mentorship or getting placement, even though you can see one person named Dibya, they were the SIH winner in part of many initiatives which we conduct. So we try ensuring your overall development. We don't just say placement or skilling. You should be overall developed if you want to do something in this tech industry. So I think that was all about from my side. Now I'll be handing over to Sang to introduce our mentor and more brief about today's session.
Uh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
So yeah, thanks Abhishek. I think that was a very detailed information about our ecosystem. So I think thanks for explaining. And hi, welcome guys. For today, we all know that we are here for a session called AI tools every student must master in 2026. So we all know that AI is the talk of the town currently. It's literally the biggest thing on the planet for now. So we should be able to include it into our day-to-day workflows, and that's why we are conducting this session where we'll talk about how like how top engineers or how industry professionals use AI for different things, for learning new things or for building projects or learning something or just in their day-to-day life. So for that, we have our mentor, Tanusha Bhati, who is currently working as an SD at Paydala, and she also worked with PwC and GAIL in the past. And she will be walking us through her experiences and how she uses AI tools and other stuff. So before welcoming her, I'll just say one thing. I think Abhishek already mentioned. So please, for questions, uh, like your mics are currently muted, so you won't be able to ask questions directly. So feel free to utilize the Q&As. Let me just show you. S- s- So if you can see my screen, uh, so if you can see my screen, there is a tool session here, and where we have a Q&A option. So you can go into Q&A, create a question, like any question, and just either post anonymously or with your name. If you're fine, just post it, and we'll be receiving all your questions. So uh, at the end of the session, like after once Tanusha stops presenting her things, we'll be first be taking questions from Q&A, and then we'll allow you to ask it live also. So no need to worry. but if you want, please feel free to utilize this feature. So yeah, with that, please welcome Ms. Tanusha, and yeah, the stage is all yours.
Hi, Shashank. Hi, Abhishek. And good evening, everyone. So, thank you for having me over your platform. And thanks to all the audience who have joined here for this webinar over the weekend. So, yeah, uh, I shall share my screen first. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. So, yeah, so thank you for having me here. And as this session is all about the AI tools, and I'll be covering about what the college student should be using, which AI tools, and also as a software developer, what we use and what other senior developers use. So about myself. Myself, Tanusha Bhati. Currently, I'm working as a software developer with Paydala. Paydala is a US-based fintech startup that works with the gaming industry, helping them with their KYCs and transactions. I have previously worked with PwC. I have interned with PwC also, and I have interned with GAIL. So that's about myself. And so starting with the session, if I would like to okay, we cannot ask the questions. So you must all be using
Yeah,
ChatGPT or some of
Tanusha,
the
sorry to interrupt you.
yeah.
I think they can
Yeah.
react. If you
Yeah,
ask any question, they can react. They have a
Okay.
reaction permission, yes.
Okay, but I cannot see. I won't be able to see those reactions, right?
No, you can see the reactions, yes.
So
Yes, you can see the reactions.
since I'll be presenting my screen, no,
Yeah,
I
I
won't
think
be able to
then you
see
need
that.
to, yeah, commit back,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah. Okay. So okay, can you give me a minute?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Just give me a single minute. Yeah. Am I
Yeah,
visible?
am I listening? Oh, no, I think if you join from your phone, that echo will come.
No. Now is it
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So sorry for the interruption. And yeah, so I would like the audience to interact. I would like to ask how many of you use any of the AI tools on regular basis? Like reactions would be great. So almost everyone. Yeah. So another question. Uh, do you think that you use those AI tools to the fullest, to their full potential? No, yeah, that's the catch, you know. So using AI or any of the tool and knowing how to use AI are two different completely things. Okay. So you might be using ChatGPT for everything. You know? So that's not the way that you use AI. AI is currently being used largely at the place everywhere in the industries, in every single industry. And if you don't cope up with the latest technology, which is AI actually nowadays, you stay behind of everyone, right? So there is one smartphone analogy. Like if I give you a iPhone, which almost costs an lakh rupees, so and you only use that iPhone for scrolling over Instagram, use for WhatsApp, or just for reading PDFs and all other stuffs, clicking some images. But that's not what iPhone is made for. iPhone is best for high processor, for clicking pictures that are of high quality, like professional pictures can also be clicked through those iPhone. So you are actually not using that phone to its full potential. Similar is the way with AI. So this session is actually about that. I'll be covering that how you can actually use AI to its full potential, not only relying on a single tool and use different tools for specific purposes, right? So we as professionals, we as developers, and even other people who are into different industries, everyone uses AI. So if I talk about my industry as a tech, as a developer, we use AI on daily basis. But we don't only just use AI or some ChatGPT kind of tool to ask, okay, just tell me what is the issue with this. We use it in different ways. We use human mind also. We just cannot rely over AI, right? So keeping in mind that why have you actually joined this webinar? So you must have joined this webinar to understand but what all tools you can use. But I am here for some different agenda, plus what agenda you are here for. So there are actually three things that I would like to cover apart from the tools perspective. So there is a saying around the world that AI is taking jobs of everyone, right? But in my opinion, AI is not replacing the human talent. It is the people who are actually implementing and collaborating with AI into their daily lives with their programming skills are the ones who are replacing the people who are staying behind and not coping up with the AI, right? Every year, employers in 2026 and ahead, they will be wanting people who will utilize AI. In current scenario also, whenever you are applying for any of the jobs, you must be seeing into JDs that AI is this one thing that they ask for, right? So utilizing that AI in everyday life cycle in the projects, how you create it, how you deploy it, and how you debug your code is the thing that you need to do again. And then you should use AI for increasing your velocity, right? The earlier, whatever time was taken for debugging a code could be hours, but same code could be debugged in some few hours. Like if someone was taking 5 to 6 hours to debug a certain code, now you will be taking an hour or a two maximum, right? So that's the reason that you should be using AI for. Now the AI as a first mindset for a student. Now with the headline, you should not pre-assume that you should keep AI as the first person to do all your tasks, right? Because if you keep AI as a first person to do all your tasks, then you're actually damaging your human brain. Okay. AI is not the one who should be actually doing all your tasks because ultimately you won't be learning anything, right? So to achieve, there's a gap between the two. You shouldn't be creating that gap. So that's the thing that you should always keep in mind. Right. So as we know that technology always shifts, right? So like 30 to 40 years back, there was no Google, there was nothing. Okay, so people were relying, the people were valued who had the facts, who had the knowledge. Then came Google. Then the information was not the criteria that people were being valued for. People were valued for who is remembering that information, right? And now in the current scenario, we have AI. Now AI is being able to write, to translate your codes, to summarize whatever your documentations are. So the memory is being commoditized, right? So today the real value is not having knowledge or to having memorized the things, right? The real value is about the critical thinking. Now AI is doing the things, but you are the one who have to decide what you have to ask, how strategically you can take the help of AI to increase your productivity. Okay. So you should be using AI as a mentor and not as a substitute. Okay. So as we always say, since the FIFA is going on, there is a good slang in FIFA. The coaches don't play, right? So the keep your AI, take your AI as a mentor, take it as your personal tutor. You can ask AI the tricky logics, the concepts, ask AI to schedule your things, ask AI to create a roadmap for you, ask AI to help you with coding skills, and take it as a career advisor also. Since you all will be practicing for placement session, so you can always use AI to create your roadmap for a particular thing. If you're in, of course, many of you would be of CS and IT, everyone. So you can create a roadmap for Java. You can create a roadmap for a particular another language, Python or anything, backend, front end, whatever it is, right? So take AI as a tutor, but do not rely on AI. The best it could be. Also, AI shouldn't be replacing your thinking, right? The human brain is the powerhouse. No one can replace your thinking. AI can have hallucinations. Every time AI cannot give the proper and correct answers, right? You are the one who have to tell your answers. We as a developers and other senior colleagues of ours, we don't completely rely on AI, whatever it provides to us. We just can't copy everything. We, even if we are debugging a code, we can't say, okay, whatever the ChatGPT or cursor has told, that's the only reason. We have to go through the code. We have to debug it on ourselves alone, and then we can only take help of it. Because sometimes AI can be wrong. AI does not is not capable of live web transcribing, right? So that is the most important thing. Don't just rely over AI. Also, everyone uses user. There are many users of AI. So we can categorize the users into like three levels. So we have a pair of consumers who actually use AI just for, okay, write me an essay on this topic. Write an email. I want to give it to my manager. Is the requirements. So those are actually not using AI for anything purposely. They are using it for the zero actual skill. Then comes the assistants one, who use it as their personal assistant, to find what concepts they want, what code they want, something like that, which increases their efficiency, right? And then comes the collaborators, which are the main and which we have to be, right? The professionals. So you have to collaborate with AI tools, collaborate different kinds of AI tools in your daily activities, and which we'll be covering further, that what all AI tools you should be using for specific purposes. So when you use AI, the engineer, who are the ones who actually win? The engineers who actually show productivity as a professional are the ones who actually wins, who increases the productivity, who writes a good documentation, who writes good unit test. Those were written before also, but with collaborating with AI are the ones who are able to do the same thing in less amount of time. And that's what something companies are looking for. They're not only looking for the people who know Java, who know Spring Boot, who know AWS, GCP, everything. They are looking for someone who can collaborate with AI and who can bring more productivity in less amount of time. So just don't use AI for cheating purposes or just for copying out the things. Use it for increasing your productivity, right? So one of the ultimate mistakes that a user, we as a people, we as a student make, we just use ChatGPT. ChatGPT was the first AI tool that came up. And since most of the people have been using the single tool for every single task, which shouldn't be done. Like you won't be using some Formula Race 1 car to tow a cargo, right? You cannot use an aeroplane to travel 2 miles, right? We have different things to purpose for different things. So like we have different tools for different purposes. For example, now we'll be heading to Complete Student AI Toolkit, where I'll be covering what tools you can actually use for different purposes. So first, the universal problem solver, ChatGPT. Everyone knows about it, right? So what you should be doing and what ChatGPT should actually be used for is, ChatGPT is actually good for theoretical things. You can use, actually you should be using ChatGPT only for theoretical things, like provide me some roadmap for Java. create a 30 days roadmap, create a 60 days roadmap for a Spring Boot. If you want to learn GCP or any of the other topics, you can use it for creating some roadmap. You can use ChatGPT for learning certain concepts about certain subjects, right? Then comes the Claude. Claude is the deep reasoner. Now, many people actually use Claude for coding purposes also. You can use, there is no harm. But Claude is more precise over deep research. So if you are someone who have a long documentation, you are in a company, you have a big research paper, you have a long documentation or some when we work with clients, we have to create client reports so that they can download our system, they can work on it. So there are a huge number of documents. So when you're someone new joiner to the company, you have to know all about that. So in this case, Claude is a perfect AI tool which you should be using to synthesize, to summarize those PDFs, to summarize those documents and everything, right? So Claude is the perfect one for deep analysis. Whenever you want to deep analyze something, it can be a code base also, but it is more prominent for the theoretical deep search. So you can use Claude for that. Then comes the Gemini. Gemini is powerful because of its integration with Google. Now, Gemini supports everything that Google owns, like YouTube, G Drive, Gmail, and Google Sheets, everything. So whenever you go to Google Sheets, you or Google Drive, you can just the Gemini certainly prompts. You can give a prompt that summarize all the documents I have in my Google Doc, and boom, you just see all the pointers and all the summarization of particular PDFs and particular documents that you have there. Similarly, when you log into your Google Sheets, you again see Gemini. You can just summarize your spreadsheets. You can summarize whatever visual data is there. If you have some mathematical data, you can summarize those. You can sync those data. Instead of manually doing that, you can do that, right? Then even on YTV, I have been using Gemini. You can just take out what videos, lectures you have been using, or what are the prominent lectures that you should be covering for a certain subject. Then is a Perplexity. So Perplexity is useful because it is the only tool that actually gives you search data along with the sources. No ChatGPT, no Claude, no one gives you data with the source from where it has taken the content. So whenever you are working over some documentations where you have to actually give the sources, you have to give the proof of your work. Like even in colleges, when you're making your projects and final year projects, and you have to give PPT of your projects, you have to mention the source from where you have taken this content, right? So in those cases, you should use Perplexity because it give you the content plus it give you the reliable sources from where it is taking those content. Then comes the Notebook LM. This tool should be the favorite tool for the students because this is the tool which acts actually as your personalized tutor. When you want to learn something, or maybe you are even on a travel, you want your notes, you want to just go through your notes, you just have to upload your PDFs, you just have to upload your content that you want to read. It won't be analyzing any of the web content, nothing over the web. It will not travel across the web. It will create a separate AI for yourself, for your content that you upload. Okay, so suppose you have your lecture notes that your teacher has shared with you, so you just have to share those lecture notes. You have some of the PDFs of your books that are being taught. Suppose you have a operating system PDF book. Okay, you just have to upload that PDF of operating system over this AI tool, and you have to give a prompt. And suppose you gave a prompt that provide me all 50 questions that can be asked over my examination, and you will get the personalized questions from those content only for your exam. Similarly, In this, we also have a audio podcast kind of feature. If you don't want to read, you can actually get a tutor who will be engaging with you. You'll be in a kind of podcast. You can be communicating to and fro. And in this way, you can be studying through your notes without actually studying. So this is the best tool for the students and for preparing over your exams. Next is the one Cursor and Copilot. Maybe everyone would be waiting for this. In case of coding, the best tool that you should be using is Cursor plus Copilot. You can use Cursor as single and you can also use Copilot as single, but combined, they are a boom. Cursor is the one why I'm giving you Cursor, not Claude, because Cursor very well surprises with your code base IDE. I personally use IntelliJ and I use Cursor in that. So Cursor very well goes through your code base, goes through multiple microservices. If you get all microservices in the under a single IDE, the Cursor is very good with multiple microservices. It is very good with providing authentications and code features very well. Also, why I am suggesting that you should use Copilot with Cursor, because Copilot is faster with its boilerplate codes, because sometimes there are boilerplate codes. If you don't know, I'll tell you. Boilerplate codes are the repetitive codes that one has to repeat every time. So certain kinds of code are very easily and more fastly given by the Copilot. So when you use Cursor plus Copilot together, it's a boom. It's a boom. So this is the best duo that you should be using for coding purposes. Then apart from coding, when you are in college, you have to create PPTs, you have to give presentations for in-house college projects. So when you have to create PPT, now you have code from Cursor and Copilot, you have content from ChatGPT. If you want sources, you have Perplexity. But what about the designing? Most of the people are not good at creating PPTs. You will just create a normal PPT. So you should be using Canva AI. Canva is very good with PPTs. It provides many layouts and it is good for posters. If you are even an influencer, you will be getting good posters over it. And secondly, whenever you are like cluttered, cluttered in the sense, if you are in mid of your exams, you have your placements, you have your exams together, the final placements and the final exams come together, they always collide, and you are all the time cluttered. What should I be doing? This I have to do. You have a different to-do list to do, right? So that's the moment that you should be using Notion. Notion is the tool that acts as a second brain. So that what Notion does is it will create an organized list for yourself, a tracker. Actually, it creates a tracker where you can track what you have done, what are yet to be done, and it logs everything. So that's the best tool to organize your day-to-day life. So this is the AI stack that you should be actually using. Now you know that for what purposes you should be using what AI tool, right? So when I say you have to build some Spring Boot project, okay, so what should be your pathway? First, you should not actually give just go to Claude, create a project for this. I need these functions and everything, because you have not learned anything. You should not be completely dependent upon AI, please. If you are a beginner, you should be learning first and then move to Claude, then make a full project. So first step has to be learning. Use ChatGPT properly for roadmaps. Use it as your tutor, use it for to and fro communication, use it for deep in-dive practices. ChatGPT is best. Then comes if you have some academic researches, as we know that it provides with these sources, you use Perplexity. Now when you have knowledge, now is the perfect time when you can actually create the code for your code base. So now you should be using Claude. You use Claude for deep dive researches and use Cursor for actually building your complete code base. But I would suggest use Cursor later. Please learn how to write code first. Then only you should be using AI anyways. You and ultimately Notebook LM is the best tool to revise your things. So real world AI workflow, how actually in real world we are being using everything. So if I give you just tools of medical tools, you can't be a surgeon, right? Now I have told you use Claude, use Cursor. Can you actually use all these tools in a real life world? If you are just today, you are joining some company, will you be able to use these tools for everything day to day life with perfect efficiency? Maybe yes, maybe no, right? So we have to use a particular path. Again, we have as a developer, when I have to debug something, I have a plan with myself. I don't just take a log and give it to some chat GPT, give it to Claude Pro. I have to debug it myself first. I have to find out which log I have to check, what is the time range of the bug that it occurred. So there is a foolproof plan I have with me. Then I can give it to chat GPT or Cursor. No, give it to chat GPT or give it to Claude. Okay, Claude gives you a deep dive. So then you know that, okay, if you haven't understood that error, the chat GPT or Claude will help you understand that error first, that what actually happened in that scenario. Now you need to analyze it properly. Notebook LM is for students, not as a developers we use it. So for analyzing, we use our human brain. Then you can write a code. If we are able to write code, we write. To maintain productivity, we use Cursor, we use GitHub Copilot, and then we finally drill it out. So idea of the deployment is same. ChatGPT plus Perplexity is a good combination for your brainstorming sessions. Whenever as a college student, you are participating in certain hackathons, Oscode gives many hackathons opportunities to you. So in every hackathons nowadays, AI is being used. They tell you to use AI for creating code to deploy over everything. So use ChatGPT, use Perplexity to get a proper knowledge from particular source, from a valid source. Plan your code base, plan your code, plan everything. Use Notion to create your to-do list to track what you have to do. Use Cursor to build your code base and finally push it. So this is the final slide. If after moving out of this webinar, you don't remember anything, just remember the slide. A unified cognitive team. What you have to use: ChatGPT for general mentoring sessions, Perplexity for real-time search with verified sources, Notebook LM best for your revisions and acts as a tutor, Cursor plus Copilot for your code base, Canva for your PPT, and Notion for tracking your things out and making your life simple. So use AI for making your life simpler, not to damage your mind and to give it a first place to do your work, right? So yeah, transform your work from today. Thank you. And that's all from my side. You have any questions, please shoot out. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Tanusha. It was a detailed session, and I think we all learned something new today. So yeah, we can take some questions. Um, so there's one in the Q&A, but it's a generic one. It's not related to a session. We'll answer this shortly. So basically, can we post it on LinkedIn? Yes, you can post it on LinkedIn. Um, if you guys have still have questions, please feel free to post it. I have also enabled the chat, so you can post it directly in the chat. And meanwhile, if anyone wants, please raise their hands, and we'll let you turn on your microphones one by one and ask it on the spot.
Shashank, I would like to add something that any of the audience, if you have any of your doubts, irrespective of AI, since this was a session to let you introduce with the AI tools, And irrespective of that, if you have any doubts, please feel free about corporate, about your coding sessions, anything. I'll be there. Happy to help you out.
Okay. So yeah, as you mentioned, you have any doubts regarding AI, corporate placements, or anything in tech, feel free to post it or just raise your hands. We'll give you turn one by one. Okay. I think we have one. It's like, you mentioned using ChatGPT along with Perplexity. Could you please explain your workflow? For example, when should we use ChatGPT? When should we use Perplexity? And how do you combine both effectively while learning?
Okay, so hi, Jaya.